welcome you back to Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati. Weather is pretty mild, 55 degrees, but the wind should be a factor here. It is partially overcast, and right now let's send it down to our sideline reporter, Chris Button.
Dick, the Vikings get back a healthy and motivated Adrian Peterson. The running back sat out last week with a foot injury, and he said that him and Leslie Frazier had a heated discussion and that he was devastated that he was not allowed to play in last week's game. So what still motivates the running back playing for a team that's out of the playoffs? Right now, it's the NFL's rushing record. Coming into today, he's 122 yards behind the Eagles' LaShawn McCoy. Dick?
And we know he had a 200-yard game against the Bears, so he couldn't get it done in these last two games. So Leslie Frazier, the head coach of the Vikings, who once worked for Marvin Lewis, defensive coordinator for 2 years, and Cordero Patterson, the best kick returner in the league. Off to a head start, and here's Patterson past the 40-yard line, and it's the kicker Prater who knocks him out of bounds. And a big return living up to his billing. Cordero Patterson on a brilliant 48-yard kickoff return to start this game.
He was going to be one of our impact players because what he can do in all phases of the game. You see, run through that gap. Good block there by the running back, just picked up Banyard. Cordero Patterson is one of the most exciting young players in professional football. We're going to see a lot of him today.
And Mike Nugent making the play, otherwise Patterson would have gone the distance. So a first down on the 49 of the Bengals, and the handoff is to Adrian Peterson, and Peterson drives his way for a 3-yard gain. Matt Castle, trying to establish himself as the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings going into next year, has played very well indeed, and coming off a terrific game. 382 yards, the most for a Viking quarterback since Brett Favre in 2010.
He wouldn't even talk to us about last year. Matt Castle is so focused on these last 2 games. He's really wrestled this quarterback spot away from Christian Ponder and Josh Freeman. He's done a great job here recently.
Second down and 7, and again they go to Peterson, but this time he's tackled right about the line of scrimmage, and Michael Johnson making the tackle. Talk about impact players. You know who we're going to include.
Yeah, of course, he is one of them after missing last week. I expect him to come out fired up and running angry. Cordero Patterson, who we just missing. This guy is so dangerous when he gets the ball in the hands. Should be fun to watch him today. Drake Kirkpatrick starting at corner, coming off his first start at Pittsburgh with mixed results. Got to expect him to step up today against these Vikings receivers. And Vontaze Burfict, he is the leading tackler in the NFL. He is a solid defender for this Bengals defense.
Toby Gerhart is in, and you saw Peterson go out, but getting sacked by Vincent Ray is Matt Castle, and it's picked up on the loose ball by Carlos Dunlap, and Dunlap is inside the 5-yard line. So a sack fumble, and the Bengals taking advantage of their defense will have a first and goal.
Reggie Nelson came off that corner untouched. See him right here. Him and Carlos Dunlap making this penetration. Mix up in the Vikings communication there. Toby Gerhart steps up. Castle fumbles this ball, and not what the Vikings needed to start this game on the road.
And Ray was the guy who actually got to Castle and forced the fumble. And so now it'll be first and goal at the 4 for the Bengals.
Bengals started last week's game so slow, not so much today.
So the quarterback, Andy Dalton, first and goal at the 4. Play action. Nowhere to go, and he throws it away. Incomplete. Andy Dalton, and you remember the Bengals are second in red zone offense in the NFL, and Andy Dalton seeking to become only the 6th quarterback in history to lead his team to the postseason in his first 3 years as a starter.
Andy Dalton reminds me a lot of Joe Flacco in Baltimore, the way that he has guided his team. Not a lot of flash. You can't compare him to some of these other great quarterbacks, but he's done a lot of good things for these Bengals in his first 3 years.
Second and goal. And the give is BenJarvus Green-Ellis. And BenJarvus Green-Ellis in for the touchdown, taking advantage of the sack, fumble, and return And a 4-yard touchdown. And the Bengals take an early 6-0 lead.
BenJarvus Green-Ellis off that left side over on Andrew Whitworth and Anthony Collins. Probably one of the easiest touchdowns he'll have in his career. Not a lot of fight there for the Vikings. That was a very fast start touchdown for the Bengals.
And Mike Nugent on for the extra point. And with less than 2 minutes gone by after the great 48-yard kickoff return by Patterson, the sack fumble, and then the 42-yard return by Dunlap, setting up the touchdown by BenJarvus Green-Ellis. Bengals take the 7-0 lead.
It is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Well, a lot better start for the Bengals this week than last when they fell behind 21-0 to the Steelers. Carlos Dunlap, who picked up the fumble and ran 42 yards. And then BenJarvus Green-Ellis with his 7th touchdown of the season. And this kick bounces out of the end zone, and the Vikings will take over at the 20-yard line as we discuss our burning questions today, Ronde.
You know what? Cincinnati's 5th ring run D better buckle up today. 28 in purple is back. I think he's raring to go. This is strength versus strength, if you ask me. Their rush defense versus Minnesota's rush offense. And which side wins that battle will come a long way to determine this game. And on the other side of the ball, Minnesota has to be able to affect Andy Dalton. He's probably got the quickest release in football, and he's got a gang of talent to work with. Jared Allen, Brian Robinson lead this defense. They're going to have to apply some pressure on Andy Dalton. They're going to stay in this football game.
From the 20-yard line and play action, and Castle is going to go deep, and the pass is incomplete. Patterson was the intended receiver and covered by Dre Kirkpatrick, starting in place of Terrence Newman for the 2nd straight week, and had a good showing last week.
He did have a good showing. 2nd-year guy out of Alabama. He has a lot of upside, expecting a lot of good things out of him. He's having to play with that injury. But you see Matt Castle, he told us yesterday that they're going to try to take some shots at him, and there was one early in the football game.
2nd down and 10. Remember, the Vikings started on the 49 of the Bengals. And here is Peterson cutting upfield, and Peterson gets about 8 or 9 yards, bringing up 3rd down.
Adrian Peterson, coming off that foot injury, said he really wanted to play last week. And you got to commend Leslie Frazier for holding him out for his own good, but he is such a fiery competitor. He does so many superhuman things coming back from that knee injury last year. This foot, I'm sure he thinks he can play with. To see how gimpy he is today.
And that right foot sprain. 3rd down and 2. Pass dropped. Chase Ford. And he was in position to give the Vikings a 1st down, covered by Vincent Ray, who made the big hit to force the fumble on Castle.
He had his receiver here, but you see ball's deflected there at the line of scrimmage. 3 and out for the Vikings today. Not going to be good.
So it's 4th down. Brandon Tate is back deep, and Tate, returning the kick, gets to the 33-yard line. Marvin Mitchell making the tackle. So Andy Dalton, even keel quarterback, and his main target, A.J. Green. The Bengals going on offense again with the lead.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Back here in Cincinnati, the Bengals, who scored from the 4-yard line after the turnover to take the 7-0 lead. And here is Andy Dalton rolling out, and he completes the pass to Jermaine Gresham, who loses the ball, and the Vikings pick it up. And it's Jamarcus Sanford who recovers the ball. So we have played just a couple of minutes. We've already had 2 turnovers, 22-yard catch and the fumble, and the Vikings will get the ball at the 46.
And the Vikings talked about having to create turnovers to compete in this game. And you see Aaron Henderson come in and whack that ball out. Jamarcus Sanford recovers. 2 big turnovers here early in this football game. Could be the deciding factor early.
But the question, Ronde, is can the Vikings take advantage of it? Turnovers 1 apiece, and the ball at the Minnesota 46.
Hey, Mike's 5'8", loco, loco.
Matt Castle swings it out, and the pass caught by Peterson, who is hit by Dre Kirkpatrick for a short gain. And now for a game break, let's go out to Joel Klatt. Joel.
All right, Dick, let's go out to Washington, where the Cowboys looking to keep pace with the Eagles in the NFC East. DeMarco Murray from 3 yards out. Didn't see a lot of him in the fourth quarter last week. But there he is with a touchdown, 7-0 Cowboys. Dick and Rondé.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard pass to Peterson. And there is the end around to Cordero Patterson. And Patterson, they want to get the ball in his hands as much as possible, and the Vikings pick up a 1st down to the 41 of the Bengals. Reggie Nelson bringing him down after a gain of 11.
Cordero Patterson right there. He goes in motion. They ran the same motion earlier, but he was a decoy, handed it ball off. Matt Castle just flicks it to him, and he got a leading blocker out there. Just look how elusive he is when he has the ball in his hands. Not many guys that big can make those kind of movements. He's fun to watch when he does.
And he almost threw the ball last week, instead ran for 12. And here is Castle. Castle completing the pass to Greg Jennings, coming off his best game since joining the Vikings, with 11 catches, 163 yards, and a 57-yard touchdown grab last week.
And he's talked very openly about how much he likes working with Matt Castle. Matt Castle, likewise, has found some comfort in Greg Jennings. Those 11 catches last week really set the tone early. Had the 57-yard touchdown. It's what sparked that offense last week.
2nd down and 5. Castle has played the best of any Minnesota quarterback this year. And there's a rollout, fake handoff, and the pass downfield, and wide open is Jarius Wright, and Jarius Wright in for the touchdown. No one near Wright, who goes 36 yards, and Castle, taking advantage of that fumble by the Bengals, quickly strikes back, and it's 7-6.
This is really good here. You see Jarius Wright up here, Dre Kirkpatrick on the coverage, but watch the double move here. Patrick drives, eyes in the backfield, doesn't even see Jarius turn up the field. It's easy throw and catch for the touchdown.
So a 36-yard touchdown for Jarius Wright, who was a 4th-round draft pick last year out of Arkansas. And the extra point by Blair Walsh ties the game 7-7 with less than 5 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. No one near Wright as Castle completes the touchdown pass, and the game is tied.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
And back here at Cincinnati, the score is tied 7-7. And there is Wright capping a 4-play, 54-yard scoring drive. His 3rd touchdown catch of the year, 10th thrown by Castle, who has 10 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. And so Marvin Lewis in his 11th year as head coach of the Bengals, and no coach has led Cincinnati to 3 straight playoff seasons, and Marvin Lewis and the Bengals on the brink of that today.
Marvin Lewis has been given a lot of time here and a lot of talent. These playoff scenarios here are really intriguing for him. Been 3 years or 2 years in a row with a chance to go to his 3rd. The fact that they can win and get into the playoffs, the top seed, and lose these last 2 and be out is pretty interesting.
Giovanni Bernard, who has really given the Bengals another dimension at running back that they haven't had since Corey Dillon, picks up 3 yards on the play. Aaron Henderson making the tackle, and has more yards from scrimmage than any rookie in the NFL.
He's exciting to watch. I have not seen him in person. This is our first opportunity this year to see him. He's an exciting player. I look forward to this game, watching him work.
2nd down and 7. He's out of North Carolina, and on the end around, the double reverse, Marvin Jones, and Marvin Jones bringing it out to the 29-yard line, will be about a yard shy of the 1st down. A.J. Green giving it to Jones.
Up here, double reverse here, fakes the handoff to Giovanni, gives it to A.J. Green, and then watch Marvin Jones make this move on Brian Robinson. Get him some extra yardage. Very nice design play by Jay Gruden, this Bengals offense.
And an injury timeout on the field. Everson Griffin, or make that Audie Cole, the middle linebacker, is shaken up, and we'll take a break right now. 7-7 early still in the first. Middle linebacker Audie Cole out of the game and not replaced at linebacker as the Vikings go with Robert Blanton as an extra defensive back on 3rd down and 2. Bernard remains at running back. Dalton on 3rd and 2 gets some time, and the pass is incomplete, and A.J. Green covered by Blanton, who just came in the game. And that'll bring up 4th down, and the Vikings hold, and the Bengals will have to kick.
Good stop there. Robert Blanton coverage on A.J. Green. He's just trying to run a little whip route. There's really no place for Andy Dalton to go. His primary receiver was covered up.
So it'll be 4th down. Sean Powell will be kicking, and there is Marcus Sherrills. 86-yard touchdown return on a punt this year, the 2nd TD of his career. Vikings have tremendous speedsters as return men. We've already seen one in Cordero Patterson with a great kickoff return. Now here's Sherrills, and Sherrills breaking a tackle, 2 of them in fact, and Sherrills brings it out smartly beyond the 40-yard line on a terrific punt return of 22 yards.
Sherrills and Patterson have been explosive guys for these Vikings. This return unit, this special teams unit, was a problem last week for Cincinnati. We'll see how it plays out in this game today.
Sean Prater is shaken up for the Vikings. Cincinnati scoring the first time they had the ball, and the Vikings came back themselves. 1st down, and the handoff to Adrian Peterson, and Peterson can't shake Adam Jones, but gets 3 yards on the play to the 45. The injured Viking was Sean Prater, who's starting at cornerback as he did last week against the Eagles and had an interception. So let's take a look at the key inactives for today's game, as John Carlson now on injured reserve, the tight end, Xavier Rhodes, and that's why Prater was starting. And Matt Asiata, the hero of last week, Terrence Newman, the cornerback, and James Harrison, the linebacker, suffering concussion. And here is Adrian Peterson finding his way for a 1st down into Bengal territory to the 47, picking up 8 more.
Talked about this matchup early in the game, this rush offense versus Minnesota and the run defense versus Cincinnati. And these last 2 plays, there's a lot of room for Adrian Peterson to run his little jump cuts, get some positive yardage up the field. He doesn't look like he's hampered at all to me, Dick.
Does anyone come back from any kind of injury better than this man?
No way.
That's been proven. 1st down, play action for Matt Castle, stepping up, and his pass overthrown, intended for Jarius Wright, who caught the touchdown pass earlier for the Vikings, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. As Rondé mentioned, the Cincinnati Bengals can earn a playoff berth with a victory today and a loss by the Dolphins, who are playing at Buffalo, and the Bills lead Miami by a score of 3-0. And there are other possibilities as well. If the Ravens lose today and the Bengals win, they will capture the AFC North title.
So many scenarios. It should be fun to watch these last 2 weeks in AFC football.
2nd down, and the slant thrown a little behind Greg Jennings, but he makes the grab and picks up 4.
It's a good grab by Jennings. He got down just in time for Vontaze Burfict. About took his head off, took his helmet off.
Was it the head or the helmet? Let's
hopefully just the helmet.
Joe Webb has come in the game. Erstwhile quarterback, who's now listed as a wide receiver. He's number 14, and he lines up with 2 other receivers on the right. 3rd down and 6 for Minnesota. And the pass off the hands of Cordero Patterson, and running it back, and it's incomplete. The pass is incomplete, but the Bengals did the smart thing, Vincent Ray, in running it back in case the pass was behind the line of scrimmage, and then it would be a free ball.
Bengals had this play sniffed out from the get-go. Even if Cordero Patterson had caught that ball, I don't think he would have been able to get the first down.
So the Vikings getting good field position for the second time in the game. First on the kickoff return and then the punt return. Cannot do much. And now it is fourth down. Brandon Tate is back deep, and Blair Walsh, or check it, Jeff Locke, will be punting for Minnesota. Locke, the rookie from UCLA. Beautiful kick, and the fair catch by Tate at the 10. Only a 33-yard kick, but you don't measure the yardage. They kicked it inside the 20. That man, Andy Dalton, coming back out. This January, it's a showdown between two of the most explosive offenses in the country as 13th-ranked Oklahoma State squares off against 8th-ranked Missouri in AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic. Coverage begins Friday, January 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox. So with Sean Prater out with an injury, Chris Cook, who returned against the Eagles,
Hey, Ralph,
had a knee problem, replaces Prater at cornerback. First down at the 10-yard line, and here is Green Ellis off the right side, and Chad Greenway stops him after 3. And for a report, let's go down to Chris Button.
Here's an update on a couple of Vikings. Linebacker Audie Cole is questionable with a right leg injury. He just got that taped up. As for cornerback Sean Prater, he is questionable with an ankle. He has been running up and down the sidelines, also got that taped up.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. So they lose the middle linebacker right now. Second down and 7 for Dalton. Fakes a handoff. And the pass caught, and a first down. Jermaine Gresham, who is out with an injured hip in the second half against the Steelers, lost a fumble in that game, but makes the 11-yard grab.
And pushed out of bounds there by Harrison Smith, who was also coming back for an injury in this Vikings secondary. You know, with Audie Cole out, Aaron Henderson goes to the middle linebacker where he has played this year before Audie Cole took his job.
First down on the 24. And movement. And Fred Evans.
Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Fred Evans guilty of encroachment. Terry McCauley in his 15th year as an official in the National Football League, and that will give the Bengals a 1st and 5 at the 29. 7-7 the score as we wind down to 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Bengals undefeated at home. The Vikings have not won on the road this year. Here is Dalton. He's got time and goes underneath to Benjarvis Green Ellis, who is knocked out of bounds, and gets the first down out to the 41 by Chad Greenway again, and a gain of 10.
Andy Dalton distributing the ball so well, like he's done all year. Such a patient quarterback in the pocket, finds his outlet, the running back in the flat there. Pick up the first down.
Up to the 39. And well, penalty, and let's see if Evans jumped again.
Encroachment, defense number 90.
That's the second time in this series that Evans, and he's going to go out of the game, replaced by LaTroy Guion. Let's take a look, Rondé, at the impact players right here.
Yeah, Giovanni Bernard, this guy right here, he's a special player. He's shifty, he's explosive. I'm excited to watch him. A.J. Green, we all know about him. He's been one of the most exciting players on this team all year long. And Chad Greenway and Jared Allen have been stalwarts on this Vikings defense for a long time.
Pitch to Bernard, and Aaron Henderson makes the tackle. Where's your old team playing today?
In St. Louis. Okay. You know, there's a lot of Buccaneers on this field today. Alan Williams, their defensive coordinator, runs our defense, or our old school defense. So my mind is
look. At least you didn't name another team that you didn't play for.
I know.
Second down and 4.
Hey, 50.
There's Henderson, as you mentioned, in the middle, who replaced Cole. And this pass is caught for the first down by Tyler Eifert, the rookie tight end from Notre Dame. Chris Cook making the tackle. And the Bengals get 6 yards and just edge their way into Minnesota territory.
The Vikings a little bit on their heels right now. The Bengals got to this hurry-up offense. Getting into the huddle now, but you saw Fred Evans with those 2 offsides. You get a little anxious on defense. This Minnesota team has to calm down a little bit. let this game come to him.
Evans went out, as we mentioned. Guyon replaced him. Giovanni Bernard remains in the backfield on first down, and there is a keeper by Dalton. Or check that, Mohamed Sanu, who was behind center. And Sanu doesn't get much. No gain on the play. Dalton was actually split wide on the play. And Eifert's going to come out hobbled, the tight end for the Bengals, to the sideline.
Andy Dalton lined up split. They get into that wildcat formation with the imposter at the quarterback. Wasn't very successful. The Minnesota Vikings sniffed it out.
Second and 10. Going up top is Dalton. And Cook, the ball was thrown out of bounds. A.J. Green was the receiver Dalton wanted to get to, and Cook was with him. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 for Cincinnati. Each team has committed a turnover, and each team has capitalized on fumbles. Defensive coordinator Alan Williams for the Vikings, who have struggled next to last in scoring defense. Coming into this game, they've given up 30 points a game.
He's having a hard time. He told me he's having a hard time getting these guys to buy into this, and the players. Really simple defense, but they got to know what to do in order to be successful.
Dalton's pass, and it's caught, and a first down. Marvin Jones, who leads the Bengals with 9 touchdown catches. Cincinnati on the Viking 31 after a gain of 18.
Vikings here in cover 2. You see the middle linebacker run to the middle of the field. These underneath droppers have to stop right here and not let anything get behind them. You see as this play goes on, Andy Dalton's able to find some time. There's not a lot of 4-man rush, and the ball comes in right behind Chad Greenway, who's the seam dropper. Back in the day, Derek Brooks was really good at playing that position right there.
Yes, he was. Dalton, by the way, 5 for 8 now. And Hawkins, the receiver, going out to the left. He makes the reception. And he is brought down after a short game by Chris Cook. So it'll be 2nd down for the Bengals, who come in 9-5 on the year. Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator, and of course a guy you knew, of course, played for John. You know Jay.
Another Buccaneer. I told you, this is like Northwest or whatever, North somewhere. Northeast.
Or even Midwest.
Midwest,
Let's
wherever.
call it Midwest. 2nd down and 8. Dalton. Green is there, and it's a touchdown. So Chris Cook, who came in for the injured Sean Prater, having to defend A.J. Green, gives up the 29-yard touchdown pass on the 10th play of the drive.
This is one of the toughest jobs in football. Watch how shifty A.J. Green comes out of the slot there. Look how he adjusted his ball at the last second. It was over his outside shoulder. That subtle movement, the little things that A.J. Green does to make his quarterback love him. We saw it right there.
Mike Nugent for the extra point with under a minute remaining in this first quarter here in Cincinnati, and the Bengals take a 14-7 lead over the Vikings. So a touchdown pass for Dalton, his 28th of the year, and that's a career high for him.
A.J. Green is so hard to check at the line of scrimmage. They lined him up inside, got him all that room to work with towards the sideline, and he just ran away from Chris Cook. Andy Dalton delivered a perfect ball for the touchdown to put these Bengals up 14-7.
And for Green, his 9th touchdown catch of the year, tying him with Marvin Jones for the club leadership.
And those 3 guys right there, Sanu, Green, Marvin Jones, add that to those 2 tight ends and those 2 running backs. Jay Gruden has a lot of talent to work with on this offense. Really no reason they can't be successful these last 2 games and into the playoffs with the type of talent that they have on this team.
Andy Dalton explaining what went into that impressive 90-yard scoring drive. So there is Cordero Patterson, who's already returned the kick, the opening kick to the 48. Vikings ultimately fumbled. The Bengals capitalized for their first touchdown, and Mike Nugent kicking off. Line drive kick. Worst case scenario, here's Patterson on a line drive, returning it. Patterson cutting inside, breaking away, and finally tackled at the 44 and loses the ball. Fumbles.
I think they're going to call him down by contact here. Cordero Patterson, they better check him, check themselves when they go onto the field. Cordero Patterson's back there to return a kick.
How do you kick it right to him on that kind of a kick?
Kicked it right to him, and he got a great lead block again there. So shifty, able to move that big body, and that ball definitely comes out when he hits the ground. This will remain the Vikings football.
But Minnesota will have, again, good field position for the third time today. They'll start from the 44. Here's Patterson, defended by Dre Kirkpatrick, Adrian Peterson, and the Bengals, who are one of the best teams in the league at run defense. That was Michael Boley, the former Giant, starting in place of James Harrison today, who makes the tackle, gain of 1. So there is the big matchup, Peterson against the Bengals defense.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson, we all know who he is, what he brings to the table. Probably not going to try to force feed him like they have in the past. I think they believe in Matt Castle's ability to throw the ball. But Adrian Peterson against this run defense is a fun matchup for us to call up here.
They were more balanced against Philadelphia. Let's see if they run more. But here is Peterson trying to find some running room. And that should be the last play of the first quarter. 6-yard gain for Peterson. And that is the end of the first quarter here in Cincinnati with the score. The Bengals 14 and the Vikings 7. And Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter, a look at the Viking defensive line. Haven't gotten to Dalton yet. It'll be third down and 2. Castle, and the pass is batted down by Carlos Dunlap. Dunlap already making an impact by recovering a fumble from Castle and running 42 yards to set up the first touchdown of the game.
Good job there by Carlos Dunlap. He's down here working on the right tackle. He sees he can't get there. Quick drop by Matt Castle. Just get up. Get your hands in the throwing lane. Knocked it down, forcing the punt.
Jeff Locke will be kicking to Brandon Tate. So of the 4 chances the Vikings had with good field position, they scored once, and that was Brandon Tate on the fair catch, just shy of the 20. We mentioned the Bengals 6-0 at home this year. In fact, they've won their last 7. Last time they were undefeated here was back in 1988. And they have averaged 33 points a game. So they love playing at home, and
they got 2 more games.
Yep. Ravens next week.
Ravens next week, what could shape up to be a deciding factor, not only if they're getting into the playoffs, but playoff position. This team's been really good at home this year, and conversely, the Vikings have been very defeated on the road this year. No wins.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis for a couple of yards, and the Vikings have lost all their road games. They did win a game in London against the Steelers. That was listed as a home game, but I think if you go to London, you know, I think you got to pack your bags, you got to travel, and you got to unpack, and you stay in a hotel.
That was one of those quote in quote unquote home games.
Right.
4,000 miles away.
Now it's 2nd and 7. Dalton has his pass deflected at the line, and that was Brian Robinson who got a hand on it. I think, Rondé, that if the Vikings, who have terrific pass rushing ends in Robinson and Jared Allen, they have to get to Dalton today. Otherwise, if Dalton gets time, he can burn them with the deep passes.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of our burning questions. This is something we'll be watching all day. That matchup of those two defensive ends against Anthony Collins and Andre Smith, those tackles for the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't use a lot of blitz pressures. They tend to rely on the four-man rush. Those guys are going to have to stand up today.
Collins has done a great job at left tackle, keeping enemy rushers away. 3rd down and 7, and Dalton's pass, and diving to make the play, and it's caught at the 42-yard line by Marvin Jones. Talk about A.J. Green, but Marvin Jones has been the second go-to guy that the Bengals have, and he picks up 20 yards.
Andy Dalton put a really good delivery on this ball. Harrison Smith was underneath this, but he could not get to it. You see him stick his arm out there trying to deflect it, but it was too good of a throw.
Green Ellis for a couple. And Aaron Henderson, who replaced Audie Cole at middle linebacker, stuffing in the middle, so it'll be 2nd down coming up. And after 1 quarter of play, the Buffalo Bills lead the Miami Dolphins 3-0. E.J. Manuel, the starting quarterback for the Bills, out of there. The Bills earlier beat Miami, and remember, a Miami loss and a Bengal win, and Cincinnati is in the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. 2nd down and 8. Dalton, and the pass caught for the 1st down by Marvin Jones. What a game Marvin Jones is having here in the 1st half, and a pickup of 13 yards.
See Harrison Smith come down into the box here. This is such a good release by Andy Dalton. It's so quick, it's on time. That timing route by him and Marvin Jones. The last 3rd down catch was also a quick timing route, even though it was a 5-step drop. Andy Dalton does that as good as any quarterback in football.
3 catches for 52 yards for Jones, who was also carried once for 5. Ball on the 42, play action, and Dalton is going deep. Sanu, and it's off his hands, defended by Chris Cook. Mohamed Sanu downfield, and once again Dalton going deep, and Sanu is shaken up. And for that matter, so is Cook.
You could tell early in this football game that they are going to try Chris Cook just off of injury.
So the 2nd-year receiver from Rutgers shaken up, and we'll take a break.
Game is sponsored by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more.
Back here at Paul Brown Stadium, it'll be 2nd down and 10. Chris Cook remains in the game at cornerback for the Vikings. Here is Dalton, and Dalton gets it off underneath to Giovanni Bernard, and Bernard, very quick, picks up 6. Greenway on the tackle. Here's how Sanu got shaken up.
Yeah, he goes up, tries to get this ball. Watch his right arm when he comes back down onto the ground. You see it get caught up underneath him.
Bruce lower back and expected to return, has his helmet on, ready to come in.
Came down from a long way. He was up there.
Yes. Acrobatic receiver. 3rd down and 4 for the Vikings. Vikings defending the Bengals on the 37 of Minnesota. And false start. This will be against Cincinnati.
False start. Offense. Number 84. 5-yard penalty.
Jermaine Gresham,
3rd down.
number 84, the tight end. Well, how about the Buffalo Bills? They have added to their lead over the Miami Dolphins, now leading 10-0 early in the 2nd quarter. Remember, a victory for the Bills and a triumph for Marvin Lewis's Bengals, and they are in the playoffs. They clinch at least a wild card berth, and they can, of course, win a division title as well. 3rd down and 9. Dalton stepping up, and the pass was intended for A.J. Green. Looked like he cut short his route. It'll be 4th down. And a punting situation as Sean Powell comes in.
Just a little miscommunication here. You see A.J. Green right here. He's going to run up and run a little out route. Andy Dalton looks like he thinks he's going to keep running to the post or to the corner. Just a miscommunication on both of their parts there.
So Sean Powell, who's picked up from Buffalo, Kevin Huber on injured reserve with a very scary injury last week against Pittsburgh. Marcus Sherrill calls for the fair catch at the 11. So Kevin Huber, who had a fractured jaw gone, but back no matter what injury he has is Adrian Peterson, and he'll come out with the rest of the Viking offense. Total yardage stories: Cincinnati throwing it, Minnesota running it. Peterson has 31 yards on 7 carries. Worst starting field position of the game thus far for the Vikings, their own 12. Here is Adrian Peterson, and the Bengals are right there. They're not number 5 in run defense for nothing. And no gain on the play for Peterson. Domata Peko right in the middle to bring him down.
Yeah, watch Adrian Peterson run into this wall of black jerseys. Out of that shotgun draw, Peko, Maualuga, all the rest.
They're in the top 10 in overall defense, run and pass defense, third downs, and in points allowed.
Yeah, those are the numbers that say they should go far. Yeah, they have everything you need.
And on the end around, here's Patterson. Patterson with the flip gets tackled just shy of the first down, short by about a couple of yards by George Iloka. He got 7 yards on the play. They want to get the ball in his hands as much as possible.
See Cordero Patterson up there, but this is, once he gets going here, he gets his stride opened up. This, to me, is a really good tackle by Iloka. Putting his face up, head up tackle, getting his chest on him and coming up with a body part. That's the way you do it in the secondary.
So now it's 3rd down and 2. And the fans here know that if the Bengals can stop the Vikings, they look at good field position. Ball at the 19. Castle looking to throw, goes underneath, and it's intercepted. Flag is down. Vincent Ray will run it in for a touchdown, but a penalty marker thrown as Ray picked the ball up. 24-yard return.
Offense, number 40.
And a pass interference on the tight end, Red Ellison, will be declined. And the touchdown for Vincent Ray, who runs it in from 24 yards out. And the Bengals can take a 2-touchdown lead here.
Matt Castle is staring this route down. Just a spacing route. Vincent Ray read his eyes the entire time. He was running at that ball before Matt Castle even let it out of his hands.
And Mike Nugent is on, looking to give the Bengals a 21-7 lead. Nearly 5 minutes elapsed here in the second quarter, and it's 21-7. So how about the defense? That time of Ray, who forced the fumble from Castle earlier when the Bengals got their first score.
Today's game is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss.
And the Bengals have opened up a 21-7 lead on a 25-yard return of an interception by Vincent Ray. Cordero Patterson, it's a short kick, and Patterson, and it's the up man who returns it. Jerome Felton, the fullback, and he brings it out to the 25.
Let's go back to this interception. You'll see them run just a little spacing. Guys all in here. And Matt Castle completely stares down. You see Vincent Ray right there, sitting in that underneath zone, in a really good catch. And a trot in for the touchdown for Cincinnati.
So there you see 3 turnovers, and the Bengals have 14 points off of the 2 turnovers. Everyone has taken advantage of it. So Mike Zimmer's defense now with a cushion with just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. First down at the 25. And the handoff is to Peterson, and he can't go anywhere. Peterson has been stymied. No gain on the play, and it was Ray Maualuga who makes the tackle. Peterson's longest run has been 8 yards.
You know, the Bengals say they want Adrian Peterson to have to cut back, putting all those guys committed to that side of the ball. He sticks his foot in, really just gives himself up there. We talked just a second ago about how dominant this Bengals defense is. Mike Zimmer done a really good job with this unit.
And if you fall behind too much, it takes the running game out, as it did Cincinnati last week when they were down 21-0, could only run for 57 yards. Second down and 10. Play action for Castle, and he's stepping up, and he's got a man deep, and the pass is underthrown. It was intended, and now it is picked off by Iloka. Iloka, the safety, picks it off the shoulder of Dre Kirkpatrick. Defending Jerome Simpson, the former Bengal who had the defense beaten, and Castle's throw was underthrown. And so another turnover, and Cincinnati will get it back. Off the helmet, really, of Kirkpatrick, and Iloka right there, right place, right time. On the left is Jerome Simpson, who's played 4 years with the Bengals and had the defense beaten, but George Iloka was on the ground when he got the ball off the helmet of the defender Dre Kirkpatrick, and now the third turnover of the game by the Vikings, and the Bengals have a first down on their 25. The quick out to the right to Andrew Hawkins, and Hawkins speeds his way to a first down. A flag is down.
Holding. Offense number 82.
And a holding penalty against the wide receiver Marvin Jones will nullify a 16-yard gain.
Let's go back to this interception now. I got a couple of things here. Dre Kirkpatrick was looking in the backfield. He's beat miserably. But secondly, how is this not pass interference? Easily you see him grab Jerome Simpson there, push him out of the way. But lastly, Iloka, this is one heck of a catch. Concentration on the ground. But in my mind, Minnesota has a reason to be upset right there. That should have been a pass interference call. I don't know what that back judge was looking at.
I got to tell you, any one of us could have made that catch sitting on the ground.
Of course,
please.
Of course.
Timely play, first and 19 after the penalty. And the pitch to BenJarvus Green-Ellis, and he is tackled for a loss by Aaron Henderson. 2-yard loss on the play. It'll be second down. And very long for the Bengals. Second and 21 coming up, but Cincinnati leads 21-7.
Aaron Henderson looked like he was shot out of a cannon right there making that play. He goes back in the middle. I told you earlier that Adi Cole had taken his job earlier in the season. He wanted it back. He's got an opportunity today to show that he is worthy to play in the middle again.
Sanu, who was shaken up earlier with a bruised lower back, is in there now. And after the pressure on Dalton, escapes the pressure and decides to get a few extra yards. He went up the sideline, and he had a Viking defender there, and he got a couple extra. Aaron Henderson actually missed the tackle, and Dalton picks up 10, but it'll be third and long.
I think Aaron Henderson thought he was going to go out of bounds or go down, didn't want to take a cheap shot on him, but Andy Dalton gave him a little okey doke.
I'm sure Jay Gruden said, next time that happens, Andy, go down, please. We can't afford this.
Yeah, they got Josh Johnson as their backup quarterback, another Tampa guy. But they want to see him play. Andy Dalton is the guy.
Former team losing to the Rams right now, 14-7, by the way. Third down and 11. Bernard is in the game, blocking in the backfield. And Dalton is going deep for Jones. And Marvin Jones trying to time his leap. And Sean Prater, who is back in the defensive backfield for the Vikings, suffered the ankle injury earlier and came out defending on the play. It'll be fourth down.
It's good to see Prater back in the game, but watch these Cincinnati Bengals receivers. We saw Mohamed Sanu do it earlier. Marvin Jones, so athletic. Just, it's amazing trying to cover these guys. Dude, these three receivers make me happy that I am not playing in this football game.
Now, you'd rather play. Sherrills is back. And he returned an earlier punt, 22 yards. Not really.
I'd rather be sitting up here next to my
I know. You say that all the time. One of these days, I'll believe it. Well, Friday, January 10th, get ready for the new Fox comedy Enlisted. While the troops are away on their missions, these guys take care of things at home. Enlisted premieres Friday, January 10th on Fox. Adrian Peterson, 9 carries, 31 yards. Longest run has been 8. And coming in 122 yards behind LaShawn McCoy of the Eagles for the rushing leadership in the league.
I think Bill Musgrave's got to be smart here. Balance this out. Don't force feed Adrian Peterson. Let Matt Castle throw the ball and see if they can create some offense.
From the 31, Castle getting a rush, and down he goes. Vontaze Burfict with the sack. It'll be the second of the game for the Bengals, a loss of 9 yards. So they're stopping the run and they're getting in on Castle.
Just as I say that, they bring a pressure. Vontaze Burfict right there, runs right through Adrian Peterson. Matt Castle looked to throw a little bubble screen, a fake bubble screen actually, and get it up the field, but it was well covered by Adam Jones, forcing the sack or allowing the sack by Vontaze Burfict.
Coming in, leading the NFL in tackles with 151. Signed as an undrafted free agent out of Arizona State last year. 2nd down and 19. And the handoff is to Peterson. Peterson breaks off one defender and really doesn't get much, just a couple. And Reggie Nelson, the free safety, holds Peterson to 3. So right now the Cincinnati Bengals have held Adrian Peterson in check, leading 21-7. 3rd and 16 coming up.
They really have. Adrian Peterson cannot find the room. There was a couple of runs early where he had it, but so far this Bengals defense making him cut back and guys rallying to tackles has not worked for the Minnesota Vikings today.
Deceptive rushing yard leadership. They haven't broken one. Now they can make things difficult for Castle. Castle stepping up, and his throw, and it's going to be out of bounds, intended for Jerome Simpson, gets upended and hit hard. Going high for that pass. And Simpson still on the turf, out of bounds. We see his legs moving behind the throng. It'll be 4th down coming up, but a little scary there, Rondé.
Yeah, he was up there. You see, as he goes up to get this ball, he gets undercut by Reggie Nelson and comes right down on the back of his head, neck area. Ooh, that is scary, Dick.
Scary the way he landed on his neck and back. Didn't look like his head hit.
Yeah, but just sometimes enough of the blow is enough. You know, coming down from that distance is enough to really shake you up. He's up and walking. That's a good sign. Really a dynamic player for this Vikings offense. They're going to need him the rest of the game. Hopefully he's all right.
50 receptions for the Bengals in his last year with Cincinnati. So 4th down, Jeff Locke will boot it, and Brandon Tate is back for Cincinnati. Good kick. Tate back around the 20. Turning the corner and stays in bounds for a pretty nifty return. And it was Sanford who knocked him out of bounds, but a punt return of 21 yards.
Yeah, this is really good. You see him watch all his blockers just shielding guys off, trying not to get blocking the back penalties.
Flag is down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team number 41 after the play. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Mistrail Raymond called for unsportsmanlike conduct after the play.
Good punt there by Minnesota, and to get a 15-yard penalty after the play. Puts their defense in a little tougher position with a short field here for Cincinnati.
Bengals on the 44 of Minnesota. Giovanni Bernard in the game. Fake handoff to him, and then out of the backfield was Bernard. Drops a pass in the open, and that will bring up 2nd down. And 2nd-round draft pick from North Carolina, and has really given the Bengals another way to go after the pounder of BenJarvus Green-Ellis, their starting running back.
Yeah, he's exciting. Just the numbers, the great touchdown he had earlier in the year. Just to have this 1-2 combination is really a benefit to this Bengals offense and Jay Gruden, their offensive coordinator.
2nd and 10 this time. They give it to Bernard, and he'll pick up about 4 yards. Let's check in now with Joel Klatt for a game break.
All right, Dick, back to Washington we go, and the Cowboys marching down the field. Tony Romo, nifty spin in the pocket, and he finds Dez Bryant in the back of the end zone, 14 yards. Bryant's 12th of the season. Cowboys up 14-6. Dick and Rondé.
All right, hope Dez Bryant sticks around for all 4 quarters this time, maybe. 3rd down and 6.
False start.
And a false start
Offense
penalty
number
against
82.
Cincinnati.
5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down, and this hurts the field goal position for Cincinnati as the ball is now placed back at the 45. Third and 11.
Good.
Dalton with the empty backfield gets great protection, completes the pass inside the 30 to A.J. Green. And Sherrill's on the tackle, but what can the Vikings secondary do? They have not received the pass rush up front, 17 yards here.
They really haven't. Sherrill's actually does a really good job covering this route. Comes out of his break right when A.J. Green does. But look at these strong hands go in and catch that ball. Sherrill's is blocked out by A.J. Green. Good receivers do that. They have the ability to make themselves big at the point of catch. He did it right there.
Green has averaged 23 yards a catch, and here is Giovanni Bernard. And Bernard, with the ability to pound a little bit himself, picks up nearly 4 yards. With under 4 minutes to go in the first half, Bengals leading 21-7 in a game in which we've had 3 turnovers. Simpson being checked for a concussion over on the sideline.
This Vikings defense needs a stop here. If they can just allow a field goal before they go into half, feel a lot better than being down 28-7 if the Bengals are able to score a touchdown.
2nd and 6. Dalton again with time. Pass caught and a first down. Mohamed Sanu with the catch, and it'll be a first down to the 17. 7-yard gain for the Bengals, who are driving, looking to open up even a bigger lead here in the latter stages of the second quarter.
Yeah, like I was saying, Minnesota really needs to buckle down here on defense. That defensive line got to get some pressure on Andy Dalton. We haven't really seen it today from Jared Allen or Brian Robinson.
What is it?
They haven't touched Dalton,
358?
and the Cincinnati defense has been phenomenal.
5-5.
First down from the 16, and Dalton into the end zone and overthrows the intended receiver A.J. Green, and Marcus Sherrills was on the coverage for a further injury report. Here is Chris Button.
Yeah, you mentioned Simpson. He's still on the sidelines right now doing some concussion testing, going through that. One other update, though, Tyler Eifert is out for the rest of the game with a shoulder injury.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Eifert, the rookie tight end, #1 pick out of Notre Dame. 2nd down and 10 for Cincinnati. Neither team has used a timeout thus far. Dalton again has time, and this pass, flag goes down. A.J. Green defended by Prater, and we'll have a flag down and see if we have offensive pass interference here or defense.
There's no foul for defensive pass interference. The ball was uncatchable.
The way the officials are running back toward the line usually gives the indication it could be against the offense, but it's no foul.
Watch A.J. Green really not trying for this route. Prater, I'm telling you what, that looks like pass interference to me. And hey, look, Dick, I'm a defensive back, and I even said that was pass interference. He's got his hand in his chest and pushing him out of bounds. I don't see how they didn't call that. I know it was uncatchable, but still.
Well, with A.J. Green, anything is catchable, and sometimes when you commit the foul, it becomes uncatchable.
This is true.
Where it normally would have been. So now 3rd down and 10. Dalton's pass caught. Touchdown to Jermaine Gresham. Andy Dalton is having a field day, all day to throw, has not been touched, and a 16-yard pass to Gresham. Lanky tight end for the score.
The Vikings aren't getting any pressure, just like nobody gets any pressure. And when you give Andy Dalton that much time, you have a big target like Jermaine Gresham. Really kind of an easy throw and catch there.
Mike Nugent on for the extra point. And the Bengals trying to extend their home winning streak to 7 this year, and 8 overall, lead at 28-7. And that was the 4th touchdown catch for Gresham.
See Gresham right here in the slot. He's going to end up working on Harrison Smith up top. Gets past Chad Greenway again, playing cover 2. Chad Greenway is not back far enough. And this is a really excellent throw by Andy Dalton, putting it over the linebacker in front of the safety. I'm impressed.
And if you're a Bengal fan, you have to be. Dalton now with 29 touchdown passes. That's a career high. And Gresham says, I'll take a little breather here, but I'm holding on to this football. And it's 28-7 now with 2:22 remaining in the first half.
Stark opposite to their game last week in Pittsburgh. They were down by this margin early in the game. For Minnesota, they're really going to have to show something on offense here in this last 2 minutes and 22 seconds to make this a game. Matt Castle hasn't been effective at all today throwing the football. Adrian Peterson hasn't been able to get going either. Vikings going to find themselves in trouble if they don't get something going here really quick.
And that loss to Pittsburgh that you mentioned was the only blemish in the last 4 games, as Cincinnati had won 3 straight. They have only dropped 2 in a row once this year, as Cordarrelle Patterson, ever the dangerous returner, goes back. Bengals have had a very steady year. Remember, they finished the second half of last year at 7-1 and made the playoffs for the 2nd time in a row, trying to make it for the 3rd straight year. Here's Patterson on the return for the Vikings, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 26 for a game break. Here's Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, we go down to Carolina. Remember, winner of this ball game wins the NFC South. DeAngelo Williams, immediately following a Drew Brees interception, takes it 43 yards for the touchdown. The Panthers are up by 1. Dick and Rondé.
And you got Drew Brees playing outdoors, huh?
Yeah, on the road, outdoors. Saints haven't been very good at all this year in those situations.
First down for the Vikings on their 28 with 2:17 to go in the half. Needing to mount something on offense. Castle in trouble. Takes off and dives forward instead of sliding, and a flag is down back behind the line of scrimmage. 4-yard gain.
Holding offense, number 65.
And it's the center, John Sullivan, called for holding.
That front 4 rushers in Cincinnati putting a lot of pressure on there, but the coverage in the back end is what's hampering these Minnesota Vikings today. Nowhere for Matt Castle to throw the ball, holding on to it. Forced that holding penalty there by John Sullivan.
And a 2-minute warning call here in Cincinnati. Andy Dalton and the defense for the Cincinnati Bengals have them out to a 28-7 lead. We'll be right back. Here's how tough it's been for Matt Castle. Last 8 dropbacks, 2 interceptions, a sack, 1 completion. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. First down and 20, back on the 18. And Joe Banyard is now in at running back, but Castle will take off and refuses to slide. He goes head first for the 2nd time out to the 31, where Margus Hunt makes the tackle, a gain of 13 yards. Joe Banyard from UTEP, who was just put on the active roster from the practice squad, never been active on any NFL team. Number 23, still in the game. 2nd down and 7. And the pass to Brett Ellison, the tight end, is caught. And, of course, John Carlson, as we mentioned, on IR with concussion symptoms, the fine tight end, through for the year.
They're going to have to find a way to get Greg Jennings, who had such a big game last week, involved today. Haven't only got 2 catches so far. Hasn't really been targeted either.
3rd down and 2, and the pass is broken up. Broken up by Adam Jones, intended for Jerome Simpson, who came back in the game after they checked for concussion symptoms. So it'll be 4th down and 2, and the Vikings will have to kick.
Yeah, wow, Adam Jones makes a great break on this. You'll see him just flash into your screen right here, get his hand in, almost led to a Maluga interception there. Adam Jones has stepped up big time this year for this team, has 3 interceptions. He is one good player. Marvin Jones loves him, was gushing about him yesterday when we asked him about him.
He can gush about a lot of players. Bengals will be headed for the playoffs. Lock kicking to Tate as the Vikings try to get a piece of it. They let the ball bounce, and it's down by a Viking at the 30-yard line, and a flag is down.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 80. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick, 1st down.
So a penalty against Orson Charles will mark it off now. Well, for what's ahead at halftime, let's check in with some Christmas carolers.
Coming up soon, these are halftime. Colts at the Chiefs, Browns at the Jets, Titans and Jags, all that and more. We'll be back soon, Terry will too. These are halftime.
That's pretty nifty.
I was almost inclined to start singing along with him, but just kind of.
Boy, that kind of preview would be good anytime, even after the holidays.
No doubt.
Cincinnati with a huge edge in the passing department. A 1st down at the 20. Following the mark-off on the penalty. And a handoff is to Giovanni Bernard, spinning his way for a gain of about 3.
Expect Cincinnati to just run this out. They don't have a 2-minute sense of urgency sitting on that 28-7 lead, but so far in this game, we're getting exactly what you'd expect out of a Cincinnati team trying to play themselves into the playoffs.
They've been 3 turnovers committed by the Vikings, and the Bengals have scored touchdowns on 2 of them. It'll be 2nd down and 6 with time running out. Here's Bernard, and not much there, and that should do it for the first half. So the Cincinnati Bengals with a big 28-7 lead, and the Buffalo Bills lead the Miami Dolphins at halftime 10-0. If those scores hold up, the Bengals will get into the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. And that will be the end of the first half with the score 28-7. The Bengals lead over the Vikings, and we'll come back to Cincinnati after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. The Bengals lead the Vikings 28-7, and they won the toss deferred, so they're going to get the ball first as we start this 3rd quarter. And we want to remind you to follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. And the Cincinnati Bengals, as we said at the top, if they mean business, they got to prove it today, and so far they have. Brian.
And they have, absolutely, Dick. They've done it with great D. Those 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown by Vincent Ray. And what you've seen on offense, exactly what I expected from Andy Dalton, distributing the ball to a bunch of different receivers. But this, I got to look at this defense. They've only given up 100 yards to this Minnesota Vikings offense. They are really playing well today.
Well, Adrian Peterson has not been able to run the ball at all. And ball will be down by Tate in the end zone as we check in with Chris Button.
Well, Marvin Lewis told us that the key to a victory would be stopping the run. He's been pleased with that, but he told his guys at half, expect the Vikings to mix things up and take some shots downfield. As for Minnesota, Leslie Frazier telling me that they just need to sustain drives, quit turning the ball over, and his message to the team was 1 play, 1 series at a time, and we can turn this thing around, Dick.
And to turn it around, Chris, they're going to have to get some pressure on the quarterback because Andy Dalton has been untouched in this game. And he's been playing almost pitch and catch with his receivers. First down from the 20. And there's a pitch out to the right side to A.J. Green. And Green gets downfield, and Marcus Sherrills knocks him out of bounds after a gain of 9. First half numbers. Minnesota has the rushing edge, but Peterson has only gained 34 yards.
34 yards, 0 for 7 on third down. That's not going to win at any level of football. But look at what Andy Dalton has done on the other side of the ball. Just efficient, keeping the chains moving. And like you said, Dick, they have not, he hasn't even been sniffed by this Minnesota Vikings defensive line.
We haven't mentioned Jared Allen's name all day, and here's Green Ellis with the carry, and Green Ellis loses a yard. Brian Robinson. So coming into the game, Jared Allen and Brian Robinson each with 9 sacks. Each had 2 last week in the victory against the Eagles, but they've been kept at bay thus far.
Yeah, this defense gave up a lot of yards last week against Philadelphia, Nick Foles, but they played so well up front. Those 4 sacks by those 2 guys. You're going to need to see a lot of them here in the second half if Minnesota expects to claw them way back.
Third down and 2. Dalton completes it. Sanu, and a first down out to the 41. 13 more for the passing attack for the Bengals.
Mohamed Sanu over here working on Prater. Bails out of there, but that just gives Sanu a chance to break behind him, and this ball is on him right as he comes out of his break. You said it right as we came in here that they're just playing pitch and catch. Andy Dalton with that quick release, finding the matchups he wants in this beat-up Viking secondary and being very successful so far today.
16 for 26, 202 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And on the end around, here's Marvin Jones. And that play is broken up. Good defense that time by Marvin Mitchell, holding Jones to a pickup of 1.
Brian Robinson over there, too, holding up that side of the defensive or the offensive line, making that ball cut back inside. Good play by the D end.
Minnesota Vikings have been successful as of late, beating Philadelphia. 48 points they scored against them. Lost to Baltimore in a tough game. Tied Green Bay and beat Chicago, but having their problems against the Bengals. Second down and 9. Dalton drills it, and it is caught by Jones. And let's see if forward progress will give him the first down. Marcus Sherrills trying to prevent him from getting it, but it is not for the Vikings, and a first down for Cincinnati.
Look at this bullet by Andy Dalton to Marvin Jones. Forward progress did give him the first down. What I don't like is him sticking this ball out. That is a turnover opportunity. We didn't get a chance to see it there. Protect the football, young man.
First down on the 49. Here is Green Ellis, and Green Ellis picks up a couple of yards. Do you think the Cincinnati Bengals can be considered as a possible Super Bowl contender from what you've seen?
I don't see how they're not Super Bowl, not favorites, but a team that people could say could win this thing. They've made a steady rise, I think, over the past 3 years with Andy Dalton. They made the playoffs. At some point, it's all going to come to fruition, and I think it could be this year.
Well, they've got the defense, and they've got the steady quarterback, and they've got some weapons. Second down and 9. Here's Dalton. Fakes a pass and goes underneath to Bernard. Giovanni Bernard spins away, and Bernard, look at that move by Bernard. He'll get the first down and more. Bernard with a brilliant run, and they still haven't got up to him, and they finally do. 41 yards. Jones telling Bernard, you're going to keep that one in the highlight reel for your life.
Oh, my God. There it is, Dick. Forget the catch. It's when he has the ball, breaking the tackle on the spin move, but just running through this defense. Look how low he is to the ground, how quick he is in and out of his breaks, giving a stiff arm here at the end to Jared Allen. Watch this spin move. No chance. Aaron Henderson barely touched him. Man, I was looking for an exciting play from this kid, and we finally saw it.
This week, Marvin Lewis compared him to Ray Rice as a rookie. It'll be first and goal. 41-yard play, and this pass is caught for the touchdown to Sanu. Mohamed Sanu gets position and a quick touchdown on the first drive of the second half, and the Bengals have padded their lead, now leading 34-7.
Just a back shoulder throw. Andy Dalton knew where he was going with this ball right at the beginning. And Sanu working on Prater gets the touchdown. I tell you what, though, Dick, if Giovanni Bernard would have scored on that play, it could have been the one. But he didn't, and I don't know who will.
You know, that may be the one anyway. Who knows? Nugent is on for the extra point. And the Cincinnati Bengals leading 35-7. They've won their first 6 home games, averaging 33 points. They have 35 right now, 7-yard touchdown strike, and a huge Bengal lead early here in the third quarter.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Well, this was at halftime. Monkeys riding dogs, herding sheep. I don't think I've ever used that sentence in all my years covering football.
And I don't think you ever will again. I guess there's lots of ways to keep the populace entertained here in Cincinnati.
Here's Patterson on the return. Head of speed up the middle. It breaks a tackle. And not that last one. Mike Nugent, the kicker for the second time in the game, makes the tackle on Cordarrelle Patterson, who returns this one 34 yards. We'll take a break. Patterson doing his thing. He's the best in the league at this. A brilliant rookie. Cordarrelle Patterson has more kick return yards than the Vikings have offensive yards. And here is Adrian Peterson. And Adrian Peterson with his best run of the game. Close to the first down. Nelson makes the tackle. Time for a game break. Here's Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, let's go back to Washington. And Kirk Cousins finds Pierre Garçon for the 8-yard touchdown. That's his 10th catch of the day, 128 yards, 14-13 Cowboys. By the way, with that catch, he also ties Art Monk with 106 on the season for a Redskins record. Dick.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. Tight game between those two longtime rivals. Ball on the Cincinnati 40-yard line, and the pass goes out to Patterson, who is in motion. And Patterson is ridden out of bounds by Vontaze Burfict after picking up 3 on the play.
It's about the 5th or 6th times we've seen Minnesota use that same motion with Cordarrelle Patterson. Once he got the ball, the other times he was a decoy there. He was an outlet for Matt Castle. He almost looked like he was going there right away. Just trying to find a way to get the ball into their most dynamic players' hands here. See if they can get something, anything going on offense.
That was his first catch of the game. It'll be 2nd and 7. Joe Banyard just activated, is in the game. And this pass to Greg Jennings, who's been quiet today after his career game against the Eagles last week, is stopped by Carlos Dunlap after picking up 4.
Bill Musgrave getting creative. He had Cordarrelle Patterson in the backfield there. Banyard, see him out there running back. And then just running a screen to Greg Jennings. Get your big blockers out in front. Get some positive yardage. He had such a big game last week. He really hasn't shown up so far today.
Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator, trying to see if the Vikings can drum up some offense here. He has Castle going deep, and the pass almost intercepted and incomplete. It was Adam Jones who tried to grab it away from Cordarrelle Patterson downfield. Already 3 turnovers by the Vikings.
Adam Jones there playing this ball, and he does a really good job almost getting his hands on this thing. It's setting up a 4th down opportunity for Minnesota, and they're going to go for this. And I think it's smart. When you're down 28 points, you're on the road, got nothing going, you got nothing to lose. Let's go for it.
They've converted 10 4th downs this year. They need 3 yards. And here is Castle on 4th down, and no play. Timeout was called by the Bengals before the play got underway, just before the snap. And a timeout is called. We'll take a timeout and be back for the 4th down once more. Leslie Frazier has to go for it on 4th down, and this is really a disappointing game for the Vikings, who have looked so good against strong playoff contenders coming into this game. 4th down and 3 at the 33 of Cincinnati. Tassel. And incomplete. Patterson double cover downfield, but it was Brandon G who knocked the ball away from Cordero Patterson, and the Bengals will take over on downs.
That was a good throw. Cordero Patterson, you see him in here. He's going to run a bench route out to the outside. Good coverage, though. Cordero Patterson goes up, almost has a chance to get this in, but G with good coverage. It's ironic there they called that timeout, because they had a great play set up before that, before Cincinnati called that timeout, and they would have had the first down. But as it is, Cincinnati gets off the field, give the ball back to Andy Dalton in this offense.
Patterson had his hands on it first. Would have been a tough catch. First down and 10. Here's Giovanni Bernard, who caught a pass and ran 41 yards to set up the last touchdown for the Vikings. Loses 2 this time, thanks to Chad Greenway. Cincinnati defense playing without Geno Atkins. They lost the defensive tackle, an all-pro with a torn ACL. Terrence Newman is out of this game, and Leon Hall as well, the cornerback, who had an Achilles tear back in October.
Those two guys right there at the bottom are special players now. They're all pros. They deserve that recognition. Terrence Newman hopes to be back for the playoffs.
Sanu getting the snap and handing off to Bernard, and Sanu kept it. Faked me out, and a good game by Sanu. Griffin is brought down. So second time in this game, Mohamed Sanu taking the direct snap, and he gets 8 yards, bringing up third down and short.
Just a little wrinkle for Jay Gruden in this offense. Not something that they rely on, but when you're up big in a game, you can start experimenting with some stuff. Sanu or any of those wideouts, so athletic, get them a chance to get the ball, and they used it right there.
Third down and 3. Bernard, he'll get the first down. Giovanni Bernard close to the 45. Jared Allen making the tackle, picking up 4 yards, and an injured Bengal down on the field. And it's Andrew Whitworth, the left guard, who's suffered a concussion Wednesday in practice. He had been the left tackle, moving him to guard, or maybe that's Andre Smith. Andre Smith, not Whitworth. Number 71 shaken up. So an injury timeout, and will return to Paul Brown Stadium after this. Andre Smith injured, out of the game, the right tackle. So Anthony Collins moved from left tackle to right tackle. Andrew Whitworth from left guard to left tackle, and Mike Pollock is now the left guard, shuffling that offensive line. It'll be a first down. And Andy Dalton's pass is caught by Marvin Jones. So it doesn't matter who's up front and how much they have to shuffle. They've kept the Viking pass rushers at bay. 18 yards and a first down to the 37 of Minnesota.
Yeah, this Bengals offensive line, Whitworth was actually a Pro Bowler at left tackle last year. He moved in to left guard this year. But they've done a great job this year. First 10 games, they gave up 26 sacks. The last 4, they've only given up 1. They are playing outstanding football now.
Jones with 5 catches for 79 yards. And a defensive penalty, offsides against Fred Evans.
Zone infraction. Defense number 90. 5-yard penalty.
That's the third penalty for Fred Evans. Well, never be without football. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to download now. Going to the locker room is Andre Smith. Remember, the Bengals lost their left guard Clint Bowling early in December, so they really had to mix and match up front. It'll be 1st and 5 following the penalty, and here's Giovanni Bernard backed up and dropped by Aaron Henderson. And everyone congratulates Henderson, because if he didn't make that grab, who knows how many yards Giovanni Bernard would have wound up with.
Could have seen another 1 candidate from that guy. Yeah, talking about that Bengals offensive line, though, Kevin Zeitler has been out for a lot of last couple of games. He's in there now at right guard, as you just said, but they've been successful shuffling around that offensive line. I told you about their success protecting Andy Dalton, and it'll be crucial for them as the end of this year comes to completion and they go into the playoffs.
2nd down and 5 from the 32. Dalton going up on top, timing it, and unable to make it is Green, as Marcus Sherrill's battling him. But Green has that size and almost timed it perfectly. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, you said it, the size. Sherrill's his corner out here. He's not a very big guy, but he is one feisty dude in this Vikings secondary. You see him get up and knock that ball away from A.J. Green. On paper, that looks like a terrible mismatch for Minnesota, but A.J. Green's not able to come down with it because of the good play by Sherrill's.
3rd down and 5 at the 32. The Bengals are 6 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Pretty impressive. And the shuffle pass to Bernard. Here is Bernard. He'll have the 1st down as he gets close to the 25, and a flag goes down as well. Penalty marker down as Jamarcus Sanford makes the tackle on Bernard.
Holding. Offense. Number 84. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So Jermaine Gresham is holding, and that nullifies the Bengal 1st down. So it'll remain 3rd down with 5 minutes left here in the 3rd.
That was really good poise by Terry McCullough there. Gresham was a little upset as he walked by. He turned off his mic, so the whole stadium couldn't hear.
He's got the button. He's got the button.
He's got the button.
So now 3rd and 15. Ball back at the 42. Dalton. And the pass to Andrew Hawkins, and he makes the catch. Andrew Hawkins with the reception, 34 yards. Talk about timing to make the grab there against Sendejo and Blanton, and it'll be 1st and goal.
My goodness, this was a great catch. Coverage was there. Look at him go up. Another one of these athletic receivers for Cincinnati. This ball is moving around as it comes towards the ground. We can't see it on that replay there. But man, this was a great effort, great catch.
And it'll be 1st and goal. And here's a pass to Jones. And Jones is stopped inside the 2-yard line. A gain of 6 yards on the play by Chris Cook. So Hawkins, in his 3rd year from Toledo, picked up on waivers from the Rams with that big catch, setting up another possible touchdown for Cincinnati, and Cook again shaken up.
Watch the crunch in here. Cook, Jared Allen got up a little woozy, but he's going to stay in the football game.
It'll be 2nd and goal at the 2. Pecco,
big boy,
in at fullback with Giovanni Bernard behind him, that they're going to throw it on the slant, and catching it, and a flag is down as A.J. Green, touchdown. Cook was all over him, and we'll see what the penalty is, but A.J. Green, presence of mind, holds on to it for the score.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
So the pass interference call against Chris Cook is declined, and a 6-yard touchdown pass to A.J. Green.
We all had our eyes in there on Pecco, but this matchup out here was what Andy Dalton was looking for the whole time, and another great athletic play by Cincinnati Bengals wide receivers. This Vikings secondary is completely overmatched today.
And Mike Nugent for the extra point, and it's now 42-7. 35 unanswered points by the Cincinnati Bengals after the Vikings fought back to tie the game at 7. Even on interceptions, we've seen some circus catches by the Bengals, and that one there by A.J. Green. And there is the scoring drive, the latest one for the Bengals. 9 plays, 66 yards, 34-yard pass to Andrew Hawkins, set it up. It's 42-7, and the short kick, they want to keep it away from Cordero Patterson, and Marvin Mitchell, the linebacker, returns it. There is Jay Gruden, and this is the 4th straight home game that the Bengals have scored 40 or more points. Ties an NFL record. Greatest show on turf. The Rams also had that mark, and the 1952 Detroit Lions.
Start looking at the numbers that this offense is putting up, and that guy, Jay Gruden, his name has to start surfacing, along with Mike Zimmer on the other side of the ball. But Jay Gruden, what he's done with this offense has been real special. He'll be a head coaching candidate here this next year.
From the 33-yard line, Matt Castle. Still looking for a receiver, and then will take no gain on the play thanks to Carlos Dunlap. And there is Mike Zimmer, the defensive guru.
And he's really a good defensive guru, holding this team to 119 total yards today. The variety of different looks on defense. He has some players, he has some injuries, but he's making this Bengals team go.
Second down and 9, and here is Castle on the run, and this pass will be caught to the 49 of Cincinnati by Rhett Ellison for 17 yards. 2.5 to play here in the third quarter. 42-7 the score. This has been a combination of a really stout defense and a tremendous offense. Everything but special teams, in which the Vikings have had the edge there on the returns. First down. Castle sees nothing and gets hit, and a flag goes down. Castle gets hit.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, contact to the head of a sliding quarterback. Defense number 55.
Montez
15-yard
Burfict.
penalty, automatic first down.
And that is what they're calling now. They've got to protect the quarterback, and he knows it.
The crowd here doesn't like this call, but this is textbooked here. Quarterback sliding down. You cannot launch yourself into him, and it gets the helmet-to-helmet contact as well. The 15-yard penalty. Burfict.
And he pointed to himself, and he says, yes, it was me.
I was just getting ready to say, he acknowledged that, he did it wrong.
First down at the 35 for the Vikings. Here is Castle, and this one is caught by Chase Ford. No, he juggled it, did not have control, so an incomplete pass to the backup tight end, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Castle today. 8 of 20 completions. He has thrown for only 76 yards. He's got that touchdown pass that he had to write for the only score of the game for the Vikings, and has thrown 2 picks.
Yeah, 382 yards last week, down to 76. Man, that is hard to see.
Different defense. Here's Patterson trying to go outside on the pitch. Here's Patterson. Look at that speed, and he's in for the touchdown. Did he step out? No. Touchdown. Of course, they will review all scoring plays as they do. A 35-yard run by Cordero Patterson, who really has been Mr. Offense, whatever the Vikings have shown today.
He is lined up, dotted in the eye there, and just a toss. This guy, get him the ball. It was high leg, high stepping. Second rushing touchdown of the year. He's one of the only players in the league with touchdowns on receiving, rushing, and returns.
And he stayed in bounds clearly. So Blair Walsh. And with 1:34 to go in the third quarter, the Bengals lead is now 42-14. And for a game break, let's send it out to Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, we go back out to Washington. The Redskins behind Alfred Morris's 4-yard TD run, his 7th of the season. Went up 20-14, since tacked on a field goal. It's 23-14 Washington over the Cowboys. Dick and Rondé.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. Well, Cordero Patterson, who today with 54 yards rushing, and he's a wide receiver, is the game's leading rusher. But he can beat you so many ways, Rondé.
Yes, he can. He's got 200-yard plus returns this year. 109, which is the longest in league history, and 105. Told you about the rushing touchdowns and receiving touchdowns, and we've seen it today, Dick. Whenever the ball is in his hands, it looks like he could go all the way. He is so dynamic, fun to watch.
Patterson and Rams wide receiver Tavon Austin are the only two players with a rushing, receiving, and kick returns for touchdowns this season.
Yeah, he's somebody this team can build around for sure.
And the kick, and it's bobbled by Brandon Tate. And Tate trapped close to his 10-yard line, and good hustle by Gerald Hodges, rookie from Penn State. There you see Patterson with today's game, but 143 yards on 4 returns, and he has been the key man, dominated with whatever the Vikings have done, and it's been really an uphill climb against the Cincinnati defense.
Things aren't going well on either side of the ball for Minnesota, but that man is having a heck of a day.
How about Andy Dalton with 4 touchdown passes, handing off to BenJarvus Green-Ellis. 4 touchdown passes, giving him 31. Of course, he had a career high when he passed 27, but he is 1 behind Carson Palmer, who threw 32 touchdown passes in 2005 for the all-time Bengal leadership.
I'm sure at some point, either today or next week when they play Baltimore, he will get that record. He's a really good young quarterback in this league. Jay Gruden told us, can't compare him to those other guys, but he has done a lot of good stuff in 3 years.
2nd and 10, fake pass, handoff to Green-Ellis, bursts through, and they have a first down. Aaron Henderson brings him down, and it is a first down for the Bengals as we approach a half a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Finish that thought on Andy Dalton, and by other guys, I mean Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. People want him to be in that stratosphere, but he's still a young guy. But all he has done here in Cincinnati is win.
Hand off to Green-Ellis, and that should do it for the 3rd quarter. You're right, 9 wins, 11 wins, and 9+. He'll get number 10 today. And Andy Dalton, very quietly, has done the job for the Bengals. Could be going to the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. That's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Cincinnati with our score. The Bengals 42, the Vikings 14. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. And welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, along with Rondé Barber and Chris Button. Dick Stockton here as we go to the 4th quarter. The Bengals lead the Vikings 42-14. Bengals face a 2nd down and 8 on their own 25. Play action for Dalton, and he completes to A.J. Green, and Green gets the first down out to the 37. Again, the playoff implications. The Miami Dolphins are losing 13-0 early in the 4th quarter. If Miami goes on and loses to the Bills and the Bengals hold on to their huge lead here, they will clinch a playoff berth for the 3rd straight year, the first time that's ever happened in Bengal franchise history. First down at the 37. And nothing for BenJarvus Green-Ellis. Marvin Mitchell stops him for no gain.
Man, that was a hit there. Marvin Mitchell playing because Audie Cole is on the sideline, playing that will linebacker that Aaron Henderson was playing, but man, squared up, head up. Good solid tackle there.
2nd down and 10. Vikings were 1-7, but 3-2-1 since against tough teams. Mohamed Sanu takes the snap and runs with it and picks up a couple of yards as he gets to the 40-yard line.
It's like the only thing that's not working is
right.
It's the Wildcat for this offense.
Got to be something not working, and here are the offensive leaders. And Andy Dalton, who has 1 game with 5 touchdown passes in his career. That was earlier this year against the Jets. They haven't had to run the ball much, and Marvin Jones with 6 catches. Green has 5. Giovanni Bernard back in the game at running back. 3rd down and 7. Dalton. And it's caught. A.J. Green. And another 1st down just into Viking territory. 11 more yards.
A.J. Green working on Sherrills out here. It's almost like they're playing 7-on-7 here. No pass rush from the Minnesota Vikings. He has time to sit in the pocket, deliver the ball. And, of course, when you've got this complement of receivers, Jones, Green, Gresham, Bernard, Sanu, it's easy for these Bengals today.
Ben Jarvis, Green, Ellis. And he picks up a couple of yards. Andy Dalton with 4 touchdown passes today. And on the mark, no mistakes. He has 9 touchdown passes and no interceptions in his last 3 games. Talk about consistency. We talked to Jay Gruden. He says, you know, the bar is high. You got Peyton Manning and you got Brady and Rodgers. It's unfair to compare everyone to those guys. Andy Dalton quietly has done the job. I guess so. Chance for the playoffs 3rd straight year.
Everybody doubts him, but nobody in Cincinnati would rather have any other quarterback on their team than this guy right here.
2nd down and 8, and he's got another completion and another one to A.J. Green. Sherrills makes the grab, but not before. A pickup of 17 and a 1st down to the Viking 30.
It's like Andy Dalton is sitting in the pocket with a shotgun just throwing pellets at his receivers. Watch how quick this ball gets out of his hands. Hits A.J. Green in stride in his chest, and he's doing it better than a lot of guys in the league right now. 26 completions in 37 attempts, 359 yards for Andy Dalton today. Giovanni Bernard for a couple of yards, and it didn't matter that the Bengals have not run the ball extremely well today because they have just used it just to show run to set up the pass. I think coming into this game, Cincinnati knew that the weakness for this Minnesota team was in the secondary. They have all those injuries. Harrison Smith just coming back last week. You know, if they were going to attack a team and Jay Gruden drew up the right game plan, they attacked this Minnesota Vikings team where it's hurting the most, and that's by throwing the football, and Andy Dalton has been really impressive today.
And Green and Jones have a combined 13 receptions for over 140 yards. There's Giovanni Bernard, who electrified the crowd with a 41-yard run after a catch. Sneaks through for 3 yards with Allen and Mitchell stopping him.
You know what, Dick, as we've been watching this game and as we continue to think about our burning questions, you get a quarterback that drops back 37 times. And like you said, I think a quarter ago, we haven't heard Jared Allen's name one time. No pressures. Brian Robinson, no pressures. A lot of credit to this Cincinnati Bengals offensive line.
No sacks whatsoever. 3rd down and 5. And usually they've been terrific. And the first sack of the game, and it's Everson Griffin who gets it for the Vikings. Good penetration, though, for Brian Robinson, who set it up.
Yeah, Everson with that spin move. Gets to the quarterback. On cue, we talk about sacks, and Minnesota delivers one.
So it'll be 4th down, and the Bengals were very effective in 3rd down conversions, now 8 for 12 in the game. And a timeout called by Cincinnati. It's their 2nd timeout. We'll take a break.
Today's game is sponsored by Universal Pictures' new film Lone Survivor, in theaters January 10th.
And we're back here in Cincinnati. It'll be 4th down and 12. And the Bengals not going for the field goal try, and Dalton is going to go down for the 2nd sack in this series. And once again, Everson Griffin, his 2nd sack as well. And the Minnesota Vikings will take over on downs, trailing 42-14. You know, after the timeout, Marvin Lewis could have sent in Mike Nugent to try for a field goal, certainly within range, but he probably didn't want to add to the misery of Leslie Frazier. Remember, he told you Frazier worked 2 years for him as defensive coordinator and then was let go. And Marvin Lewis says that I tried to do everything then. I was hands-on maybe too much. So we went for it on 4th down and long and didn't make it. So the Vikings come back, and Greg Jennings with a 14-yard gain on a pass reception into Cincinnati territory.
Finally getting a chance to move the ball there to Greg Jennings. But yeah, Dick, you might be right, not wanting to pile on the points. Mike Nugent, no reason to kick it. Too short to punt it. Just run your play out.
First down on the 43. Matt Castle under siege all day. And down he goes. Will lose a yard thanks to Domata Peko. 4th sack for the Cincinnati defensive unit. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Vontaze Burfict went into the locker room earlier, so Michael Boley is in at middle linebacker right now. Vikings in their hurry-up offense, though.
2nd down and 11. And whistle blows. And we'll see whether there's a challenge
Cincinnati
here.
has challenged that the runner fumbled prior to being down by contact. Timeout.
Marvin Lewis is going to challenge, first challenge of the game. That's interesting with a 42-14 lead in itself. As we go to the break, let's take a look. Knee may have been down, may not have been. We'll find out.
Today's game is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer.
After the runner's knee was down prior to losing control of football. Cincinnati is charged with their 3rd and final timeout. They're out of chat. They may not challenge the rest of the game.
Let's take another look. Knee was down before the ball came out.
Yeah, clearly down. As Matt Castle gets tackled here by Peko. See the knee down. The ball doesn't come out till well after the knee hits the ground. In slow motion, of course, it always looks that way.
Earlier in the first series of the game, Castle did fumble. It was returned down to the 4, and the Bengals got their first touchdown in what has been a dominating game for them. 42-14. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Vikings on the 44. And the quick pass out, and it's caught, but not for long. Patterson is hit by Chris Crocker and will lose 6 in the process. All right, there've been some injuries here, many of them in the game, but for the latest, let's check in with Chris Button.
Rondre Smith went to the locker room in the 3rd quarter. He is definitely out for the rest of the game with a left ankle sprain. Also, a few moments ago, as Rondé mentioned, Vontaze Burfict, the linebacker, also went to the locker room. He is questionable with a head injury.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Cincinnati riding high, could get to the playoffs today, and maybe a division title. Is Castle's pass off the hands of Greg Jennings, incomplete, bringing up 4th down and 17, and maybe looking forward one more game in the regular season for the Bengals. Rondé, that at home against the Ravens, the injury situation could be a big factor for them.
It certainly will. They've been dealing with injuries pretty well on the defensive side of the ball all season long. Mike Zimmer been able to work some other guys in, Drake Kirkpatrick being one of them, especially along that defensive line, getting some other guys to step up and play. You see how this game ends with injuries.
4th down and 17. Castle's pass, and it's caught by Patterson, and he won't get away and won't get the first down. Cordaro Patterson, who's been a jack of all trades offensively, tackled by Adam Jones, gets 11 yards, but that's not enough. And when we come back, the Bengals will take over on downs. Well, Rondé, everyone here in Cincinnati scoreboard watching, and the Bills have extended their lead to 16-0 with that much time remaining in the 4th. If the Dolphins lose to the Bills and the Bengals go on and win, and they're winning big, they are in the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. Giovanni Bernard with the carry, gets a couple of yards, actually no yards. And for a game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
And while you're talking playoffs, the Saints beat Carolina. They win the NFC South and clinch a first-round bye. And right now, they've got the lead.
Jimmy Graham, 5-yard score from Drew Brees, and it's 13-10. Saints with a lead on the road at Carolina. Dick and Rodney.
Boy, that'd be a huge road win, Rodney.
Yeah, they haven't played well on the road all year. There's some good games here. Dallas fighting for a playoff spot, losing to Washington at the moment, too.
Bernard knocked down for a loss by Everson Griffin, who has 2 sacks today and a loss of 4. Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture right now. Carolina and San Francisco would be the wild cards, and of course the winner of this New Orleans-Carolina game would be heads up in that NFC South. Arizona with a big game at Seattle later.
Huge game this afternoon, Arizona at Seattle.
Everson Griffin getting up after an injury, but we'll take a break with 6:34 to go in the game. Well, American Idol is looking for the next superstar. Join Jennifer Lopez, Keith Urban, Harry Connick Jr., along with Ryan Seacrest as they search for the best new talent. American Idol's most exciting season yet begins Wednesday, January 15th on Fox. 3rd and 14 for the Bengals. 3 wide receivers to the right, but looking up the middle, and the pass is caught by Sanu. And Sanu will be way short. 4th down coming up, and the Bengals will kick it away.
I got to think, Dick, that may have been Andy Dalton's last snap of the game. There's only 6 minutes left in this game. No reason to put him out there any longer. We'll see what Marvin Lewis and Jay Gruden have in store. Maybe see Josh Johnson here on the next offensive series.
Sean Powell will be kicking, and Marcus Sherrills back for the Vikings. Short. Sherrills will let it bounce, and out of bounds it goes between the 20 and the 25-yard line. We talk about 42 points, but what about the Cincinnati Bengals defense today?
Got the early fumble, and Dunlap with the recovery down to the 4-yard line to set up the score, and then Vincent Ray with the interception for a touchdown, reading Matt Castle's eyes the whole way. And then Ioka with this, what I thought was a pass interference, but great concentration on the interception. And then Vontaze Burfict gets a sack on Matt Castle. This defense came to play today. It was a question mark for us. It has been answered emphatically, if you ask me.
First down at the 24 for Minnesota. Castle unloads it to Joe Banyard, and he'll get the first down. And not only that, but you look at Adrian Peterson returning to action after being injured and inactive against the Eagles with the right foot sprain. Peterson has gained 45 yards and 11 carries. Longest run was 11 yards, so he was not the big threat today. And
he's been out of the game since really most of the 4th quarter. Banyard's been in there.
First down, and the pass complete to Jerome Simpson. He'll be about a yard and a half shy of the first down. Crocker making the tackle.
When this game got out of hand early with the score, Adrian Peterson went to the sideline. They were in this 2-minute hurry-up offense the whole time. So you can't really answer that question. He did average 4 yards, but I think the Bengals defense did a really good job containing him while he was in there.
It's a complete performance for Cincinnati today. Make no mistake about that. Castle will go down and close to the first down. Domata Peko. And it is a first down for the Vikings, who were in the game when Castle hit Jarius Wright with a 36-yard touchdown pass, following a turnover to make it 7-7 in the first quarter, and then the Bengals ran away from the Vikings. Here's Castle going deep, and another turnover, an interception by Maualuga. And Ray Maualuga with the pick, and a 14-yard return to the 45. Castle with a game we'd like to forget. 3 interceptions.
Matt Castle getting a little bit of pressure. He steps up, but this ball has no velocity on it. Easy interception from Maualuga. And he throws his 3rd interception of the day, and that's just the story for these Minnesota Vikings. And On a side note here, Dick, like I said, Josh Johnson into the game. Andy Dalton did take his last snap. There's no reason for him to continue playing in this blowout.
Did you give a signal down to Jay Gruden to put in the other quarterback?
I did. Since I threw out that Buccaneer thing early in the game, he had to play.
Cedric Pierman is in the game at running back. His first appearance. Sendejo making the tackle. So here is Josh Johnson, who is a former Cleveland Brown in his 5th season. Those are his numbers. It'll be 2nd down and 7 as the Bengals playing out the string. They've had enough injuries, most of them on the defensive side today. Don't want to take any chances, as you mentioned, with Dalton and the running backs.
Yeah, Josh Johnson was with me in Tampa for a couple of years as well. Very capable. He's familiar with Jay Gruden's system. It's why he's here. Get him some snaps just in case, but I don't think the way Andy Dalton's playing, you want to see Andy Dalton play.
Josh Johnson with the carry. Sendejo again. So let's close the book on Andy Dalton today with 27 completions and 38 attempts. You see the look on his face tells the story. 366 yards and 4 touchdowns. Leaves him 1 behind Carson Palmer for the all-time Bengal touchdown record. And, of course, a career high for Andy Dalton.
I think Andy Dalton is one of those guys that's just quietly confident. When you meet with him, there's no real rah-rah about him. He just kind of humbly walks into the room and, gives us what he gives us. But when you see him on the field, that steadiness, that personality plays well for these Bengals.
3rd down and 5. Pierman. And Pierman just shy of the 1st down. So Andy Dalton is on the verge, as this team winning its 10th game of the year, of becoming the 6th quarterback in NFL history to lead a team to the playoffs in his first 3 years. And Otto Graham, the athletic director at the University of Southern California, Pat Hayden, Dan Marino, Bernie Kosar. And the 2-minute warning here. 2 minutes remaining in the game. The Bengals will go to 7-0 at home, where they score a bundle, and they did again today. 2 minutes remaining in the game. 4th down and 1 for the Bengals at the 45 of Minnesota. Josh Johnson with the quarterback sneak, and he has the 1st down. So what a turnaround from last week's shellacking at Pittsburgh, the worst game of the year for the Bengals. They were down 21-0 early, trailed 24-0 at one point. And a big question as to how they would respond against the team that had been knocking off playoff contenders today in the Vikings.
Well, they lost a physical battle last week against Pittsburgh, and before they knew it, they looked up and it was 21-0. But this team is resilient. They have a lot of talent. It showed itself very, very handedly today as they trounced on Minnesota. This is an exciting team. You mentioned if they can make a run into the playoffs, and Dick, I can't see why they couldn't with the type of players they have on offense. Mike Zimmer's defense, as stout as it's been against the run and giving up points, I think they can make a run this year.
And, of course, they'll wrap up the playoffs with a victory for Buffalo over Miami at 16-0 with under 3 minutes to go in that game. But the Cincinnati Bengals will go to 10-5 on the year, 7-0 at home, make it 8 straight dating back to last year. And a convincing victory by the Bengals and Marvin Lewis. So late in the game, Buffalo up 16-0. And if that score holds, the Bengals are in the playoffs. And if the Ravens lose later to New England, the Bengals will have won the AFC North. That's our story here. And for all of us, we're going to send you to the Dallas-Washington game. Bonus coverage. Let's join Kevin Burkhardt.